Hello and welcome to episode 36 of the Craving Crypto podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the best goals you can have as a trader. So let's get right into this. So starting with the total market capitalization, we have had a bit of a correction since the $230 billion levels here and fell back onto the support level that we drew in the last episode. If you remember, we took this and we clicked on it and we changed the color to green because the price had significantly rose above that resistance level, and now we are treating it as support. In one of my other episodes, about, like 4 episodes back, when the price was coming back down here to the $180 billion levels, we said that support and resistance is a zone. So if it drops a little bit below, you can still get a bounce, and often you do get a bounce off that level. We've had a similar reaction in price right here as we fell a little bit below that level. Now, if you don't see a red candle here, that's just because this move happened so quickly that the coin market cap data, the API only refreshes so often. So that was just a gap down in the price. It just moved really fast. That's why there's no candlestick there. But you can see that the candlesticks started to paint themselves down here. These are 4-hour candlesticks. So that just means that in that 4-hour period, the price moved very quickly. And now we're bouncing and we're starting to get a green candle formed right here. The histogram on the MACD is a little bit oversold, and the overbought lines are coming back into the middle, the medium, which is an oversold zone or starting to be an oversold zone. So if we do get a nice bounce off these support levels of 204 and 206 in this little range right here, and then continue to see upside, my primary option is still in place, that we'll test this resistance level and get closer to 230 or $240 billion levels before seeing any type of a rejection. Now, if this level doesn't hold right here at 205, our secondary option will still be in place. We'll probably reject off this $215 billion level, in which case in the next episode, we'll go ahead and double click on that and make it red, treat it as resistance again. And we'll likely test the $175 billion level as support, or even have an intense panic wick to this level. Now, currently I'm still holding to the bulls on the short term here, but if Bitcoin isn't going to hold its support in its triangle, then we're likely to see that capitulation event and make another low in the total market cap. But like I said, right now we're still seeing strength in this market, and as long as the support holds, there's no reason to be bearish on a major support level, especially since we've been reacting very nicely to these support and resistance levels all through July, August, September, and hopefully into October we'll still get some nice reactions off these levels. So that's what I'm holding true for the total market cap. Primary option headed towards the $230 billion levels. Headed to cryptowatch.ch or cryptowatt.ch or just watch. Either way, that's the URL, so you guys can go ahead and get on this website as well. But this basically just loads up all of the charts. Right now I have Ripple on the 30-day, but these are 24-hour graphs. We're seeing a lot of short-term blood. Ethereum down 7%. Ripple is down about 12% on the total market cap. Like I said, this chart's still loading, so it's showing that it's up 40 because I have it set to the 30-day graph. The altcoin total market capitalization looks like we're going in for a 4-wave right now. An ABC correction. I'm not going to try to call the bottom of the C wave, but I will say this is a huge support level that we wrote off in the past when we accumulated to make the 3-wave, and we're landing back onto that level. And this is a total wave count on the logarithmic scale. So this goes way back to 2013, Litecoin cycles, and all of the altcoins combined into one graph. So I really think that a 5th wave is coming. I'm not saying that it's going to go to 10 trillion. That's just in this zone. We could easily get into the 200 billion. And then if we start to really shoot up, we could even hit $1 trillion in total market capitalization. People hear that and they're like, no, there's no way that crypto could ever be valued that much. But if you step back and then look at the valuation of Forex markets and commodities markets, if we even get a couple percent of the total capitalization that is in those markets, we go well over $1 trillion in total market capitalization, and Bitcoin is over $1 million per coin. The growth potential is definitely there. The undervaluation is very easy to see, in my opinion. And I don't see it as an argument saying, oh, $1 trillion market cap isn't possible. That's not a good way to think. The best way to think is see how much money is in the world. There's a total money supply. It's called M3. You can go look it up and then see the trillions and trillions of dollars that are in this world. That's just the money supply. That doesn't even account for assets such as real estate or other commodities. Just to give you an idea, there's a ton of money in this world. Cryptocurrency is a really useful technology, so $1 trillion of valuation isn't impossible for total market capitalization. In fact, I personally think it's pretty likely that we do get into those levels at some point, especially once we start to see more uptrending movement and the market finishes rounding out and bottoming and starts to see clean upside and continuation of the big picture uptrend. I really think we'll pick up quickly and head for those levels. So altcoin markets are looking good on the long term. This is a very big picture graph. So just understand that on the short term, we could still have either of these scenarios play out. But big picture, we're looking really healthy for the altcoin markets. The total market capitalization is exactly $208 billion. 24-hour volume is at $15 billion. And like I said, across the map, we're having some price changes. Ripple was down 12% a few minutes ago, but it looks like it's only down about 7% now, which is closer to what Ethereum is doing. So there is a quick question I wanted to get to by Smonk Machine. He says, how do you draw support on coin signals? So I just basically use a very, very simple method of horizontal boxes. Let me just find some random altcoin here and then we'll go into that. A lot of people really love this coin, including myself. Obviously, I don't marry any coins, so I don't attach myself to the trend, but I really do think that this is a good hold in the long term and even in the short term for cryptos. So we're just going to use this to show you how to draw that horizontal support and resistance. I'm going to do it on the weekly time frame, but you can either do this on the 4-hour or the 1 hour or the 30-minute or the 15-minute. It really doesn't matter what time frame you're using. You can always draw your support and resistance, but this is the time frame I'm going to go ahead and do it with here. So I take this box on the left-hand side. It's called a rectangle, and then I go ahead, I make it green. These are going to be my support levels, and then we'll use resistance in red. So let's just go ahead and draw a horizontal line from this low right here. And then I'm just going to drag it clear out over to the right so that I've got plenty of time. If I ever publish this as an idea, it will make sure that the prices are always reacting to these levels in the future. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to clone it. So the easiest way is just to clone these. And if you're on the logarithmic chart, it's going to shrink as you go up. If it's a linear chart, you won't have this. But as it moves, you can just go ahead and stretch the boxes back to the normal size that you were looking for. So let's just take that. You can see there was another support and resistance zone. We might make these just a little bit wider here, about that tall. It really doesn't matter. You're working with zones, but I like to have them kind of wide on the bigger time frames and a little bit thinner on the smaller time frames. And we can take this and we can clone it again. I'm just dragging up the points where I see support in the previous, what used to be resistance in the 2017 bull runs is now going to be support in any type of corrections that we see in 2018. So we're just mapping these levels out, kind of drawing it with this box, and then utilizing these areas for the future. We could probably have one more in between these. As you can see, there was a nice little kind of reaction in the price. Oops. If you go from the top down, you're going to get some screwy stuff on the log chart, but you won't get this on the linear chart, like I was saying. Then we can put this somewhere in the middle here, stretch these two levels down like this. You want to make sure they're all really close to the same size, just so it's nice and clean looking. All right, and then we're just going to take this and we'll just go ahead and draw another major support zone right here that we're currently landing onto. And then we're going to take our resistance levels, because this will be anything above current price, and we'll draw these. There could probably get one more resistance level right here drawn that we were reacting from currently. So that is how I draw support and resistance. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down a little bit, stretch this like this, Just make it more even. I just find the points that react strongly to the prices, and I use those levels. It's not exactly every single one is perfectly evenly distributed. I try to get them the same size. I try to make it look as symmetrical and even as possible. But if there's a zone right here where there's no resistance and it just shot right through it, then there's no reason to have a box right there. As you can see, I don't have one right there because there may have been some very small resistance on smaller time frames, but in this time frame there was none. That's how I draw the support and resistance. It's very useful for finding areas to be taking buying actions or selling actions. If you fall below a major support level, then you can always short it because it now becomes resistance when you get a retest of that level. If you go above a major resistance level and it comes back onto it, you can buy because that's now treated as support. Support and resistance is one of the most useful things to utilize along with Elliott waves to really get the best perspective of when to be taking positions and when to be taking profits. So that's how I draw that, and I really hope that gives some clarity for you. We're going to go into some cannabis stocks as requested by one of our VIP members. So we're doing 3 tickers here. It's just going to take a few seconds and we'll get into the topic for today's video. So go ahead and hit that like button if you're learning something and if you're enjoying today's episode. So the ticker for this cannabis stock is CBWTF, and I've just drawn a basic wave count and price projection into 2019 that I kind of see playing out here. So this is a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive wave up, and then you have a falling wedge ABCDE triangle correction, and we've now made the first wave in another bullish Elliott cycle. So you can see we've got plenty of volume for accumulation in this period. I wouldn't be surprised if this 2 wave bleeds a little bit lower because generally 1 and 2 waves retrace pretty hard. The 2 eats back into the 1 wave pretty significantly. As you can see, the same thing happened right here. We have the 2 eat significantly back into the 1. So I expect the same thing to happen right here. This is also a big 1, 2, and you can see how that ate really deep into itself, right? Because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E. So we're labeling that as a big 1, 2 wave. So 2 waves generally do that kind of characteristic, and then 3 waves are really impulsive because all that FOMO in the 1 wave comes back down, it shakes everybody out, and then a bunch of people get short positions on at the bottom of the 2 because they think the market's going to dump because it started returning to its bearish trend. And then because, you know, there was a correction back here, so they're like, oh, this is bearish, it's got a bearish trend. And that 2 point is right when all the shorts take positions, and then they get short squeeze happens, and a 3 wave comes. And buyers just eat all of that selling pressure back. So that's kind of what I expect here for Auxly, AUXLY Cannabis Group Incorporated, and my overall price predictions and projections for it. Now let's pop over to ACAN or ACAN. This one did a very, very interesting Elliott wave structure. I like this pattern a lot, actually. It looks like a strong bullish symmetrical triangle. We have a 1 and a 2 wave, and then we proceeded to make a 3 and a 4 and a 5. And then from there, we did an ABCDE symmetrical triangle correction, ABCDE. This is actually the same thing that just happened on stellar lumens. So I can just draw that resistance right here, and then we can draw this support level right here. Make this little support level green for support. And then we're just going to take our ABCDE Elliott wave triangle here and show you that this is exactly the same kind of process that happened in stellar that we're seeing in this pot stock, ABCDE. So after that, we're expecting a bullish impulse wave. This is a big 1 and a 2. And then this is going to be the first subwave of the 3 wave out of that big 1, 2. So that may be a little bit confusing if you're new to Elliott waves. That's okay. You can get more information on my website or email me if you have any specific questions. But just understand that we're painting the same fractal, the same emotions that humans experience over and over again. That's why you can label them, and that's why they're tracked so easily, is because humans don't change. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and that will make the first wave of the larger degree 3 wave for ACAN. So yeah, this one is looking really bullish. Like I said, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we get some rejection off this resistance for that 1 and that 2 wave. but overall that's a bullish symmetrical triangle, and it's got plenty of accumulation, and it just did a bullish histogram flip on the MACD as well. So that one's looking really good. Now let's go over OGRMF. All right, so this one looks like it's also setting up to do a triangle corrective pattern. The main reason I see this as a triangle corrective pattern because this is in a clear bullish trend and we've got heavy volume for accumulation. We also just did a cup and handle pattern that we have not met the target for. So I expect this to be a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll make an ABCDE corrective pattern similar to the one that we saw here, where we don't really correct as deeply, but we shake out some of that FOMO, and then we see continuation in its trend as well. So again, that'll be a big 1 and a 2 wave. So the 3 wave should be pretty exciting if we do have it play out like this. My alternative would be that we have some type of a support failure and go in for a deeper ABC. This is one of the reasons, especially with these stock charts, it takes so long to play their cycles out in comparison to crypto, where you want to average into the trend. So if you start to correct down to this A wave, you buy some at the bottom of the A, take a little bit of profit at the top of the B. If it does a bigger A, B, and a C wave lower, then you can accumulate into that C wave, because either way, this is still a very young trend, and there's no reason that this bullish trend is going to stop for the bigger picture. So you want to average into this potential buy zone and then accumulate for the next wave. So that's kind of my thoughts on Organogram Holdings Incorporated. Let's get into today's topic, actually. We're going to be talking about good goals you should have as a trader. The main reason I want to bring this up is a lot of beginners, when they get into this, they don't really know what they should be focusing on and what they really should be prioritizing with. So that's what I'm going to be laying out today. Number 1, you need to have a monthly percentage goal. So every single month you need to be looking to gain a certain percentage. With cryptocurrency markets, 30% is a good, healthy percentage goal to be gaining each month. If you don't get to that level, at least you're shooting for something high. And if you really don't get even close, then you need to reevaluate your trading plan. This is the next big thing, is you need to make sure that you have a trading plan. So one of your goals should be making good quality trading plans. It's very simple setup criteria, exit criteria, and then track that plan and see if you can get consistent winnings with it. Don't try to gamble or just take trades based on a gut feeling. You want to be laying things out in plans and then seeing if that plan is giving you a consistent percentage and whether it's getting you towards your monthly goal. Aside from that, I recommend splitting your long-term holdings with your short-term holdings so that you don't get too much confusion out of those two things, and have a goal to just accumulate for your long-term and a goal to compound in your short-term. So your long-term portfolio, you just want to slowly add into everything and play the big picture trends and let it just continually ride on the upside. Short-term stuff, you want to be focusing on these trading plans, making sure that you're getting a good percentage each month. Your win rate isn't as important, but as long as you're growing in percentage gain, that's the most important thing. So that's really your goal for short term, is get those solid trading plans. The reason I bring up the win rate thing is you can have a 33% win rate as long as your winners are 3 times bigger than any loss that you take. So if you're targeting a 30% gain and then you have a 10% stop loss, you only have to be profitable over 33% of the time to be a consistent trader. So win rate percentage is one of the most useless things in trading. It's a lot more important to focus on your risk to reward and making sure that you're gaining in monthly percentage so that you're continually compounding. This is something that beginners get frustrated with at the start, is because they might have to take 3 stop losses in a row before they get that winner. But again, it's all about that risk management, because it doesn't matter if you're getting stopped out multiple times in a row. In fact, a lot of the best traders have around a 50% win ratio. So it's all about that risk to reward. And that's really one of the big goals that you should be focusing on, is getting your trading plans in place so that you have tight stop losses and big reward levels so that you're taking low risk positions with high potential profits. After that, you can work on your win rate. Get it above 30 and then into 50 and then 70 if you become a god trader. So that's kind of what you're looking for. That helps you lay out some of your goals so that you don't get too confused as to what you should be focusing on. Again, just take that long term aside from your short term so that you don't confuse yourself too much. Work on that risk management, work on those trade setups, and then focus on your monthly percentage gain goals. Focus on your win rate percentage after you get all those things in place. So that will help lay things out for you and simplify things. If you guys want to look over the technical analysis of the 2 previous episodes, we've got them laid out right here. We also have the coin market cap chart you can click on and look at the analysis that we did this week. We've got Coinigy sign up. If you want to do technical analysis on altcoins, you can use my referral. If you want to do leverage trading, I have a BitMEX referral link right here. If you like what I'm doing, you can send Bitcoin to this donation address. My VIP course with signals if you really want to get more hands-on, get Monday market updates and reports on all our trading, and then kind of my technical analysis into a lot more detail for the VIPs. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more content, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions, I'll drop them in the box below. As always, stay profitable out there.